Aid to Bible Understanding, published in 1971 by Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania. We'll be looking at page 1669. As you can see here, though, in the front cover, it is indeed Watchtower publication, put out in 1971. And we'll go to page 1669, under the heading, in the first column, the Word as a title, and all the way down on the last paragraph we read, a translation by a former Roman Catholic priest, Johannes, 1937 edition, renders the second appearance of the word God in the sentence as a God. So who is Johannes Greber, and why are they, the Watchtower, using him as a reference to point out the validity of the New World Translation in John 1:1, where it says, in the beginning was a Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was a God. So here we have the Word. Who is he according to John? In the 1962 Watchtower publication, The Word, Who is he according to John, on page 5. Right inside the cover there, see all the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, copyright 1962. And right there, right about there, you see there's a footnote marked. See that little mark, and we go down. Go down. Yep, there it is. And it reads, the New Testament, a new translation and explanation based on the oldest manuscripts by Johannes Greber, translation from German into English, edition of 1937. The front cover of this bound translation being stamped with a golden cross. There he is again, 1962. This is 9 years earlier than the Aid to Bible Understanding. There you can read, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was a God. This was with God in the beginning. Everything came into being through the Word, and without it, nothing created sprang into existence. John 1:1-3. And there again, there's the footnote, referring to Johannes Greber's translation from German into English, 1937 edition of the New Testament, a new translation and explanation based on the oldest manuscripts. But again, we're still wondering who this Johannes Greber is. Watchtower published this in 1965. Make sure of all things, hold fast to what is fine. But we still don't know who Johannes Greber is and why he is used as a source for the make sure of all things, hold fast to what is fine. 1 Thessalonians 5:21. But here we go on page 489. Again, he is used as justification for the use of a God in John 1:1 on page 489. Under the heading Modern Translations and Greek Grammar make meaning clear. Says John 1:1, I guess AT there means an American translation. So it says, in the beginning, the Word existed. The Word was with God, and the Word was divine. Okay. As we go down a little more, the next paragraph, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was a God. And that is from the New Testament, a new translation, and explanation based on the oldest manuscripts, a translation from German into English, 1937, by Johannes Greber. And no problem using for justifying its rendering of John 1:1. Who is Johannes Greber? He's an ex-priest who's into spiritism, apparently, communication with spirits. Watchtower, 1956, February 15, page 110 through 111, paragraph 10. Says Johannes Greber in the introduction of his translation of the New Testament, copyrighted in 1937, quote, I myself was a Catholic priest, and until I was 48 years old had never as much as believed in the possibility of communicating with the world of God's spirits. The day came, however, when I involuntarily took my first step toward such communication and experienced things that shook me to the depth of my soul. Ellipses. My experiences are related in a book that has appeared in both German and English and bears the title Communication with the Spirit World, Its Laws and Its Purpose. Page 15, paragraph 2-3. In keeping with his Roman Catholic extraction, Greber's translation is bound with a gold leaf cross on its stiff front cover. In the foreword of his aforementioned book, ex-priest Greber says, the most significant spiritualistic book is the Bible. Under this impression, Greber endeavors to make his New Testament translation read very spiritualistic.
Dr. Metzger, what do you think about the Watchtower Society's former claim that Johannes Greber's Bible was a translation?
Yes, his translation, I years ago got a copy of this because I was interested in his translation from the standpoint of which Greek manuscripts he made use of. Johannes Greber was a former Roman Catholic priest. And after getting married to a woman who was herself a medium, he got the idea that he could translate the New Testament in a more accurate way if he would have some help from a spirit medium.
When the occult background of Greber was exposed by those outside the society, they stopped referring to him as a scholar. Interestingly, the evidence is that they had known about his occult involvement for nearly 30 years. This kind of deliberate cover-up is found throughout their history, yet it is never referred to in their Proclaimer's book. Is this candid? Is this honest?
Johannes Greber, and
they quoted him and used him for a while.
They used him for several, at least 8 or 9 times, 3 different publications of theirs. And we started doing some research on who Johannes Greber was, and found out that he was a Catholic priest in Germany who had received a translation of the New Testament under spirit guides. And he says this and explains it all in Communications with the Spirit World, his other book. So the demons, and he admits to that, he became a spirit medium. The demons helped him in that translation. And they said, well, we didn't know that. Well, we found letters at the foundation in New Jersey, found letters from the Watchtower Society that ordering his books and his New Testament long before they said they didn't hear it. But in 1956, in their Watchtower magazine, they said, stay away from Grieber's material because it's demon-inspired. And then they start quoting him in 1960, 62, and 63.
To find additional support for their altered scriptures, the Watchtower has even turned to the occult. The New Testament, a Bible translation by Johannes Grieber, has been used as an authority in many of their publications. Johannes Grieber was a spiritualist, heavily involved with the occult. His translation was completed under the direction of spirit messengers, with the aid of his wife, who was a self-professed spirit medium. The willingness of the Watchtower to accept any authority is reflected in the words of Charles Taze Russell in the July 1879 issue of Zion's Watchtower, where he stated, "A truth presented by Satan himself is just as true as a truth stated by God. Accept truth wherever you find it, no matter what it contradicts." This philosophy is reflected in the New World Translation of Jehovah's Witnesses.